All right, guys, we're at Fayette Historic State Park. Gonna go check out one of the largest and oldest ghost towns in the entire state of Michigan. Welcome to Fayette Historic Townsite. From 1867 to 1891, the town of Fayette was used as an iron mine, and the furnaces at Fayette produced high-quality charcoal iron for America's steel industry and supported a bustling immigrant community of nearly 500 residents. So one of my favorite times to explore the Upper Peninsula, guys, is in November, right after peak tourist season. And you can see right now we're at the Fayette Historical Townsite, and the parking lot is completely empty of tourists. So here's the visitor center here at the Fayette State Park. Due to the unique nature of Fayette, please wear shoes in the town site due to nails and glass. No smoking inside the historic buildings. Stay off the old stone walls. Leave the iron and slag. They are part of Fayette. Keep your pets on a leash and observe the park rules. All right, so here we go. We're on the descent. Nice little ramp down, and I can already start to see a few of the old abandoned buildings down below. All right, so there's an overlook trail to the right. But man, let's check this out. Start to see all these old buildings, and holy cow, some of them are much larger than I expected. And you can see a newer metal roof on this building, helping to preserve some of the history here in Fayette. Let me see what this says. The village jail. And now this is the ruins of the old locomotive house at Fayette. So Fayette ran a combination of human, animal, and steam power. This trench right in front of us was once a service area for Fayette steam locomotives. From the trench, skilled workers could access locomotives from below to make repairs. The locomotive house shown here enclosed the trench. And so right here is a picture of the old locomotive house right here, and the trench was inside. So this right here is the hand pump that literally the entire community had to come to get their water. A lot of old ancient artifacts here. And let's take a look at this building. I love, once again, this beautiful brickwork. Nice attention to detail. Built in the later half of the 1800s here. Man. And look at this. Nice window up in the top too, giving it a little bit more detail. So this is the machine shop here at Fayette. Machinists like Louis Follo maintained Fayette's industrial equipment from this shop. Power machinery was used to manufacture equipment parts, was driven by steam pipes from the furnace boilers. And it looks like we could just sneak our camera right inside here to be able to get a little bit of a glimpse of what's going on inside. Very cool. So I've got to imagine, folks, that this right here might be the most impressive building at Fayette, because oh my goodness, I'm just looking at it and myself, I just can barely believe how large and beautiful this wooden structure is. I'm curious what this was used for, if this was a hotel or some sort of saloon or a private house. I've got a hard time believing it was a house, just given how large it is. But let's walk over there in a moment and find out and see if we can get a peek inside. Once again, guys, one of the largest ghost towns in the entire state of Michigan. Pretty cool. And you can get just a tiny little peek in there. Can't see a whole lot though. All right, guys, so peeking through the window here, I see a small little picture on the wall, and it says, "Was the hotel painted?" And so that's telling me that this was a hotel. Certainly makes sense from the outside appearance of it. All right, here's the back end of the hotel here. Not as many windows on this side, which is a bit of a surprise given that you have the lake right behind us, so it would have been a beautiful view. Here it is, beautiful Lake Michigan with those rolling waves coming up on the rock beach. And this is Slag Beach, the edge of this 19th century landfill, once an industrial dump site, forms the beach where glass-like slag or cinder mixed with iron can still be found. Here we are at Laborers Alley, and the only slight depressions on the ground mark the locations of more than 30 small log cabins for unskilled workers and their families. The simple log houses were built by the Jackson Iron Company in rows along the top side of the base of Furnace Hill along Cedar Street. Most households were immigrant families of 5 or more people, including children. And so you can see the pictures here. They lived in very small little wooden houses right along this street in front of us. What a beautiful view though, looking out at the lake. However, back then, you can imagine it may not have been quite as beautiful a view because of the landfill right here next to it. In 1879, the Escanaba Iron Port Company reported that Fayette is not a model of cleanliness and it's difficult to keep everything in apple pie order, but there's no excuse for that alley. And they're talking about this alley right here, and the reason for that is because there was no local dump in Fayette. Residents threw their garbage in the harbor, along the slag beach, down outhouse toilets, or into the street and yards. So essentially, Fayette was literally just rotting in its own trash. So here's kind of a reconstruction of one of the surviving cabins here. Obviously it's in great shape right now. A picture here is really more what it looked like though before it was fixed up. So here's a quick little view through the window of the cabin. And we got a little view of the bedroom here as well. Look at this structure, guys. Once again, beautiful brickwork here with the doorway entry. You can see I love the different color and all the detail put into this creation. Now this is a really neat abandoned building right here. You can see the roof is completely open. All the windows are gone. And that beautiful view with the white cliffs and the lake right behind it. Okay, this was the company store. So the company store stocked merchandise from leading wholesale businesses in Chicago, Milwaukee, and Detroit. Although convenient and enticing for Fayette families who could purchase on credit from the Jackson Iron Company, mail order businesses offered lower prices. No matter how fairly it is managed, one resident said, the company was generally considered a pluck me, a term commonly used to emphasize exploitative mining company stores. Here's an old residence, and quite a large one at that. Pretty much a 3-story. And this basement door, you can see, is just continuing to rot away. This makes a little more sense, guys. I just read a plaque, and this is not a residential house. This is the town hall here in Fayette. So here's the front of the town hall. It's a pretty looking building, a little interesting on the left side to see how it's not completely symmetrical with where the roof point is. or the peak of the roof. There's some other opportunities to do activities during the main tourist season, and one of them here is kayak rentals. You can rent a kayak, 24-hour rental for only $30. And here we have the little dock in the harbor at Fayette. Quite beautiful, really. You can imagine during the summertime having a few different boats parked here and being able to go explore this historic ghost town. So at one point in the late 1800s, there was over 900 feet of docks in this small snail shell harbor. And you can see some of the pilings left right here, some of these old historic pilings from the old dock. And not only was there a 900-foot dock, but there was a 4-story grain elevator that stood here up until 1891. Look at up ahead of us here, these beautiful white cliffs. What's cool about this ghost town too, guys, is there's a lot of old ancient artifacts still laying all around the grounds. All right, we're coming out of the forest walkway, and there's another abandoned house right in front of us. Let's go check this one out. Wow. Looks like there used to be steps for these doors. Let's see if we can peek into the window. Huh. Not a whole lot to see in there. Oh wow. There's a little panel of this door missing, so I'm gonna stick my camera inside. Hopefully an animal doesn't bite my hand off. Wow. Alright, here's a couple more. Now what is inside this window? I can see something stacked up. Oh. Looks like just like bundles of wood. Huh. Interesting. My theory here, guys, I might be wrong, but I see a whole bunch of wood panels, very thin, and I think they might be wooden shingles. My thought is that the Park Service put them in here for the winter, and perhaps next spring they're going to be doing some renovations on these houses here. Got broken windows. Wow. You see here an animal must be living in this little hole underneath the foundation. So look at this, guys. This cellar area is open. It's pretty creepy. Huh. Some foundation ruins for more houses. And another. And now we're back to the hotel here right in front of us. And what do we got here? A boarding house. A boarding house that housed single employees stood on this foundation. In 1880, almost half of Fayette's adult males were boarders. C.J. Bellows, M.D. Looks like maybe the doctor's place, huh? Now right here to our left is without a doubt one of the most magnificent buildings in this ghost town. And I've gotta think this was recently renovated because you can see the shutters and the roof all appear brand new, as does the siding. And right here too, nice limestone path through the yard, going to the entryway with a brand new reconstructed wooden deck on the porch. So this is one of the largest houses here, and it has a beautiful view of the bay. Little outhouse here in the backyard. This is how it used to work, folks. So now what is this building? The Smelting Process. Okay, that makes sense. Iron ore was crushed, mixed with measured amounts of charcoal and limestone, and lifted by a steam-powered hoist to the top of the furnace where it was dumped into the stack. Wow. How cool is this? So here's one of the smelting towers right in front of us, and I'm gonna try and avoid getting any pigeon poop on my head, but there's a lot of them up above. Here we can see the two smelters. And here's a picture of the Snail Shell Harbor when it was in full operation here in 1870s. So this is a charcoal kiln. Never in my life have I entered and actually stood inside a kiln until today. There's the top of the kiln. And what do we have here? Okay, a lime kiln. Huh. Doesn't look like I can go inside this one though. Wow. This is pretty cool, guys. This is a limestone quarry, and this quarry was mined in order to get all the limestone for this entire town. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of the ghost town of Fayette. Hope you enjoyed.